Messi.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Honourable Members of Parliament, I bring condolences from the people of Rujumbura and Ekungubagira and indeed my family to His Excellency the President, to you, Right Honourable Speaker, to His Lordship, the Chief Justice, and to the people of Uganda. I would like wholeheartedly to add my voice in paying tribute to a gentle giant who has made immense contribution to this Parliament and this country at large. What pains me most about Right Honourable Jacob Oulanyah is talking about him when he's lying here dead. I wish we said what we are talking about him when he was still alive and he knew what we think about him. Today, we pay well-deserved tributes to an outstanding debater whose oratory skills and eloquence graced this august house for so many years. His talent was so unique that one would wonder how God could bless a single person with all those attributes, being quick-witted, smart, both physically and intellectually, combined with an exceptional sense of humor. Lying before us today is a gentleman who was capable of lighting up a dull and boring event with stupendous humor and could get everyone cracking their ribs thereafter. And yet, even with this sense of humor, he was able to maintain a very high level of seriousness and relevance to the matter at hand. Right Honourable Speaker, allow me to mention and applaud the national character that the late Jacob Oulanyah demonstrated. I speak for everyone in this august house when I say that the late made friends across the entire political spectrum. This is no mean feat, given our sometimes very sharp political differences. Was campaigning to for northern Uganda, a campaign that was majorly conducted virtually. The late Oulanyah made it a point to record a message in a language that could be understood in all the 4 regions of Uganda. Finally, I would like to salute the late Right Honourable Oulanyah as a highly talented and knowledgeable lawyer. This Parliament is guided, among others, by the laws, by the Constitution, our rules of procedure, and the Administration of Parliament Act. Oulanyah's grasp of all these laws was unmatched. His career tells it all in the nutshell. From Guild Speaker to Member of Parliament to Chairperson of the highly demanding Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee to Deputy Speaker and Final Speaker. Honourable contribution to this great nation if he had stayed a little longer. However, God decided that he had made his contribution, and I now pray that we carry forward the mantle of leadership and emulate all the things late Jacob Oulanyah held in high regard. Right Honourable Speaker, I condole with the family, the people of Omoro, Acholi, and the entire nation. May God rest him in eternal peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honourable Jim. Honourable Nambose Betty. Jen, are you Nambose? Nambose Betty. Akelo Lucy. All of you are going to speak. Akelo Lucy Katuntu.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the people of Mukono Municipality, I wish to extend our condolences to the family. More so, Madam Speaker, it is a very, very difficult moment when an old man has to bury his son. And this is the condolences I'm extending to the father of our fallen speaker, the children, and all those people related to him, including the people of Omoro, whom he has represented in this house, where I've had an opportunity to work under him for over 10 years now. Right Honorable Speaker, colleagues have said what they have said, and I want to agree with them. But as I support this motion, I want to recall that a few years ago, Uganda thought about stopping what those people in foreign countries call medical tourism. And a company came here, Madam Speaker, and we guaranteed it. And the agreement was that within 2 years, we would have an hospital here in Uganda, and that from then on, Madam Speaker, from then onwards, we shall stop taking our own or even ourselves for treatment abroad. The last thing I heard about Rubowa is that they even chased away a committee of this house that had gone to assess the level of implementation. Madam Speaker, I therefore pray that this matter be brought back in this house, so that at least even when we have to lose our own, even when we have to die, let's die near our friends, near our relatives. Lastly, Madam Speaker, a case does not die. If the minister stood here and said that Right Honorable Speaker Oulanyah was nursing trauma and marks of torture from an attack by his own security people in the country. Madam Speaker.
Honorable Nambose, there was no issue of torture. It was a strike at the university. Don't put words.
Honorable Speaker, but Madam Speaker, I was suggesting that it is high time an inquest be put up so that this country can once and for all deal with the issue of the poison scare in this country, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. I am also glad that Honorable Betty is one of those beneficiaries who has been taken out by Parliament for treatment. And the point she's raising is the point she's raising is very, very important on the issue of Lubowa Hospital. Lubowa Hospital must be worked on.
Thank you.
Lucy?
Yes, Mayor. Right Honorable Speaker, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Lucy Katuntu.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. On behalf of the people of Amuru District, the Catholic Chaplaincy, and on my own behalf, allow me pay my tribute to a brother and a friend. Madam Speaker, I got to know Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah when I was a student in Makerere. He had come to officiate over the handover ceremony of the Acholi Makere Student Association. I was impressed by how he spoke and inspired. Today I am in the August house thanks to him. Thank you, my brother. I want to say that Jacob was a man who loved his family. I remember there's a time I went to his office and he said, my sister, you are going to wait because I have to take a cake for my daughter in school. And he left all of us there and ran to take a cake for the daughter. And I'm assuming this daughter must be a team. And that is how much he loved his family. He was a pro-life man. And may he continue to fight for the children even when he's in heaven. Another thing, he stood for the common man and woman. I remember how he stood strongly about the issue of nodding syndrome. Madam Speaker, as we pay tribute to Jacob Oulanyah, and I urge government, the center, the nodding syndrome center in Omoro, let me just conclude on this, that has gone to dust. May we resurrect this center and make it work if we are to really remember the good work of the Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah for the sake of the thousands of the nodding syndrome children in northern Uganda who are suffering and dying every day. This was something he was very passionate about, and as a parliament, we need to set aside money for these children so that they also live like human beings. Rest in peace, my brother.
Haji Katuntu.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to eulogize a brother, a friend I have known for 34 years. I don't know how many people in these chambers have known the late Jacob Oulanyah for as long as I have, but they are not many. And on that account, Right Honorable Speaker, I request that you give me an extra 2 minutes to tell you what I know about Jacob Oulanyah. Right Honorable Speaker, in 1988, I was a second year at university. I met 2 men, one very tiny and short. Later on, I came to know that that very tiny and short man was coming from Miranga, and he had been a head prefect. Another one, a little bit tallish, with a jacket, and I later came to learn he was Jacob Oulanyah. At that time, the Uganda People's Congress officials were recruiting us students to participate in students' politics. And that's how I and Jacob Oulanyah were recruited in student politics. And we are all members of the Uganda People's Congress. We are recruited by Professor Kagenda Atwoch, the late Akiki Mujaji, the late Patrick Mwonda, Ben Watcher. Later on, we met the Honorable Kelo Kelo and the Honorable Abede Gongom. And of course, Yona Kanyomos. They took us to Uganda House to meet the boss then, who was a very patronizing woman, and she has remained patronizing up today. And she just seated right behind me, the Honorable Cecily Ogwal, who was now the Assistant Secretary General of UPC. We indulged in student politics. We became members of the Gidi Representative Council, the Students' Parliament. The late Jacob competed for speakership like I had competed and lost to a certain Ngabo, but he competed and beat somebody looking at me now. The late Jacob Oulanyah's second election at university, he beat somebody I'm looking at now, who is now a clerk of parliament, the former minister of defense, the Honorable Adolf Mwesige. But let me tell you one thing. The other short man I was talking about and Jacob, if you met them at that time, you would dismiss them until they opened their mouth. Then you would know these guys were obscenely intelligent. Obscenely intelligent. And they were orators. But let me tell you one thing about Jacob. Him and that short gentleman, I'm not going to mention that short gentleman's name because
Now,
it's called Mao. Okay. Right Honorable Speaker, Robert Mao was then a member of the Democratic Party, which has remained up to now rising to being the president. Jacob Oulanyah was a member of Uganda People's Congress like me. He eventually became NRM, but you would not separate them. That is Jacob. Political persuasion did not in any way affect their personal relationship. Then I asked myself, what is this that divides us? That you quarrel, you fight? I think that's the biggest lesson you have to learn from Oulanyah. That even me, when I left UPC, actually I left him there, and I went some other place. Though I have since then left that place, now I'm in self-isolation. Up from that time, we are together. And the late Jacob Oulanyah left Uganda People's and joined the National Resistance Movement, rising up to being a vice chairman of the party. Jacob was a very courageous person. He was intelligent and he was magnanimous. Honorable colleagues, do you remember on the day he was elected the speaker? Do you remember that speech? Because you see, if you win, you reach out to the vanquished. And that's what he did. There are very few winners who apologize to the people they have beaten. Oulanyah did. That's the gentleman lying in that casket. What more would you need of a leader? We joined this parliament same day in June 2001. When I look around, there are not many of us still around anyway. Honorable Cooper, Honorable Mafabi there, Honorable Amos, Honorable Anyamayo, our senior, and he took even a sabbatical. Honorable Anifa, no, we are the only ones. And I can tell you for all these years from 2001, we've worked closely with Jacob. Jacob is not, whether you know him today, tomorrow he'll call you in the office and you sort matters out. And that's where it will end. Not that we did quarrel. Honorable colleagues, we used to quarrel with the late Jacob. Very, by the way, big quarrels. One time we were quarreling about how the UPC government fell. And I was accusing some people and he was accusing others. And we clashed. We took like around 3 or 4 days without talking. Then eventually we met and we went to his office. Let me tell you, Honorable Oulanyah is a man you can rely on. He's a man you could rely on. Jacob, I can spend the whole day talking about you, but you are gone anyway. You are gone. Right Honorable Speaker, what lesson do we get for those of us who have lived with Jacob? One, be courageous. One you can rise. You can rise. Jacob rose from nothing in the NRM as a recruit up to vice chairman. What more would you need? That is Jacob, very brilliant and very courageous. But even then, Jacob had a sense of humility. You not see when you interact with him that this is the big man. Yes, he was a little bit pompous, especially with his bow tie. Very smart. He was smart both figuratively and physically. But Jacob did not despise anybody. Even when you had what he thought was a sirajment, he would find a way of putting humor into it and say, let us engage. And that's what leaders should be. Right, Honorable Speaker, we are going to bury one of the best leaders this country will ever have. It was an honor for me to know you, Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah. May your soul rest in peace till we meet again. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Katuntu. Please switch on your, not Nathan. There's a lady, yes. Nathan, you can speak while seated.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. On behalf of the 6.5 million persons with disabilities in this country, I'd like to bring our condolences to especially the family of the fallen Speaker of Parliament. I'm going to say one thing, that for the few months that I have known the Right Honourable Speaker, he was a reflection of Proverbs 11, which says, pride comes before a fall, but the humble are full of wisdom. That is my only explanation of who the late Jacob was. I can't forget when I walked into his office and he got off from his chair, pulled a chair for me, we talked, I was going out, carried my bag, walked me to the door. I have never seen such a humble man. I want to appeal to us as leaders. If you are at the level of Jacob Oulanyah, would you still be humble? When you're in a public office, and what is killing our public officers is pride. When people get one escort, they don't look at other people like they're human beings. When people are shown public officers, they can't even say hello to the people they are seated next to. Leaders of this country, if we can be humble, God will give us the wisdom that Jacob had. But if we remain proud, we shall fall and shame shall be on us. I want to say to people in public offices that those offices are temporary. You will not stay in those offices for the rest of your lives. Be humble.
Rich.
Accept people the way they come. Those who are rich, those who are poor, those who are dressed in rags, when they come to those offices, they are public offices. Put your pride aside because God has given you that office for a period of time. I thank you, Madam Speaker. Rest in peace, Jacob.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Nathan. Mama Mavenjina.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I am sorry I'm allergic to mask, please. I have not been putting on mask. Madam Speaker.
Nathan, can you put on a mask? You're allergic?
I'm allergic to it.
Okay.
I'm sorry about it.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Allow me to join my colleagues to mourn a Ugandan. I met him in 2001, but I found him a good steward. A man who whose culture of timekeeping had no boundaries. The man who believed that you should not say she, he, they, but we Ugandans. He taught us that we should behave like Americans. That an attack on one American, all of them. Ugandans, we don't have it. We are here in political lines. But Oulanyah was special. Oulanyah was special. Oulanyah was one person who could not to see anybody, treated everybody equally. And I would want all of us treat other people the way you want to be treated. And at the end of the day, every dog has its day. Some people have had it because of not being fair to others. And what can we do to him? It is to emulate him, to do what he used to want. For example, Oulanyah came up in 2001 when we had induction, which we haven't been able to have. And I appeal to you, if you want to remember Oulanyah, let's have an induction so that this. We are lucky that we still have good Ugandans. Honorable Ben Wacha, Mao, Winnie Byanyima, and many others, Okero. These people can take us through. They will take us through the etiquette and decorum of Parliament. I appeal to you members that this gentleman is not the usual Ugandan. Some of you train on simple, trivial things, but he had the bigger things. And he said, quality of debate. And you will not get a good quality of debate unless you have been inducted. There are some senior people believe that we are all equal. We are not. There are some better people in the areas. It's something he told me. Byanyima never come from one sessional committee to another, remain in one and be a specialist. Don't jump from one to another because there is life after Parliament. So after Parliament, after being in the Committee of Agriculture, you will be an expert, although you could not have qualifications. But people jump from one committee to another one. He was in 2 committees, legal and parliamentary, and rules and procedure, and he excelled. So I appeal to you, Madam Speaker, that spare some time and money, let these members who are very willing to and willing to run, so that they can be taken through an induction and we become one, and unity of this Parliament should be something that we should pay him. May his soul rest in eternal peace. I thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. And remember, as I said at the beginning, as Parliament of Uganda, we had to forego a number of programs in the name of trying to save the life of our leader. And on that note, we are going to have orientation in 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks' time, we'll have orientation. Now that we have fought the fight which we have lost. Kanungu. Mama Mavengina, then Kanungu.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to apologize our great son, our great leader who is lying before us. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I got to know the late Honorable Jacob Oulanyah in 1991, not in the university, as others have already said, but I was invited by my sister to come and cook for their graduation party. And my sister is the mother of Frank Nigel Utembi, who is the director of the Law Development Center. In 1991, the 4 of them graduated together. That is the Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah, Frank Nigel Utembi, Frank Olok Asabasi, and Honorable Norbert Mao. And so I was selected to be their chief cook, while my sister accompanied them to Makerere. So I did my best. I cooked very nicely. After graduation, they all came to Bukoto, and we enjoyed the celebration together with them. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, in the 6th Parliament, that is 1996, when I joined the Parliament of Uganda, the late Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah and his late wife Dorothy used to attend the same fellowship with me in Fairway Hotel, and General Eli Tumwine was a member of that fellowship. Mama Grace Kiria was a member of that fellowship, and Honorable Tim Luanga, Honorable Tim Kruta, and Paul Chama, to mention but a few. We used to pray together, and that is how I got to know Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah, as our Vice Chairperson for NRM Northern Uganda, did a lot of work. He mobilized tirelessly for NRM. He mobilized tirelessly for all of us. That is how, in Northern Uganda, majority of the members of Parliament came on NRM ticket. It was because of the effort of Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah. His Excellency the President, for the first time, got very overwhelming support in Northern Uganda because of the tireless effort of Right Jacob Oulanyah. Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah, when he was meeting us in Arua for the last time of the last leg of the mobilization, he advised all of us and said we should not allow NRM party to sleep again because we had gone a very long way. He said we as cadres must always be available to do the work of NRM, using our own resources, sacrificing our time and effort to put our party to go ahead. Right Honorable did a lot of work, and I want to thank His Excellency the President and all of you, Madam Speaker, are not ours. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My condolences to His Excellency the President of Uganda, to you, Honorable Right Speaker, and all members in this House. I want to first thank God and the people of Kanungu who gave me an opportunity to be part of 11th Parliament, where I met Jacob Oulanyah. I'm delighted to have met Jacob Oulanyah. He was such a professional force in this House and in Uganda, and to be part of his mobilization team, which saw him to become our Speaker of the 11th Parliament. Every time I met Honorable Right Jacob Oulanyah in this Parliament, he would stop and call me and say, thank you for being who you are. People underestimate your capacity, and he told me, and he always encouraged me, never to change who I am because I'm in this Parliament. He always say you are stronger than people look at you. I pray his legacy continues with such an impeccable reputation, and I pray that God gives you comfort where you are. You have hiked your best mountain, and I pray that you sleep well. My prayers and condolences from the people of Kanungu. Rest well, Jacob Oulanyah.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. And honorable colleagues.
Korefi, you're going to speak. You like complaining.
Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to send my condolences and those of the people of Kampala Central for the loss of a gallant soldier of this country. The Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah has a number of attributes well known to most of us. For those that were in contest with him and also worked with him, we have a lot of stories to tell. In 2016, myself was involved in a contest for deputy speakership with the late. He's someone worth a contest. You could never hear any single word of negativity coming out of him or of blackmail. He's a man, even after his victory, he extended his hand towards me and called me into his office. And he said, Mohammed, this is our office. We are all vying for this office. Whatever you need from me, you'll get it. Whenever he would get trips, he would extend to me invitations and say, brother, if you want to go with me, it's available. Then it was your discretion. The last trip we shared together with the late was in 2020 when we went to Montpellier in France. And then he was sourcing for cheaper energy, cheap and clean energy. And he had identified a place, Right Honorable Speaker, where to put solar panels and generate over 100 megawatts of power for this country. Oulanyah, the late today, he used to address me in this house as our landlord. So, Right Honorable Speaker, as the landlord, please, remember to accord me a second. He used to say, landlord, please say something. Therefore, Right Honorable Speaker, as Oulanyah departs, we must sympathize with this family. The late father, no parent would like to look into the grave of his son. The children, and I would like to applaud you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the path you set, that we should carry on the responsibility of taking care of the children of the late, and the trust fund for education of the children, because that is the best we can reward with a gentleman of his character in the life and the hereafter. May your soul rest in eternal peace, Right Honorable. You are such a great man and a leader.
Thank you, landlord. The house, kindly bear with me. Just know that we are balancing the house. And Honorable Chivumbi, but before he speaks, Honorable Oulanyah is survived with 8 children. As Parliament, let's accept within ourselves that we take responsibility of those 8 children. If you really loved Oulanyah, those become children of Parliament of Uganda. Let's take responsibility of that. Haj.
Right Honorable Speaker, I thank you. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise to associate myself.
Members, a kind reminder, the body will sleep here. Kindly join us to stay overnight with the body.
Right Honorable Speaker, I join the rest of my colleagues to pay tribute to our mentor, our brother, and a gallant son of this country. For us to say that Honorable Oulanyah died too soon can only be a true notion. Right Honorable Oulanyah, I think, in my humble view, the country was yet to see the finest Oulanyah, because we are yet to see him as the head of this institution, and I think he was well primed to serve this country to the best of his ability. But in Oulanyah, we learn a few things. Right Honorable Speaker, I've seen you and the Deputy Speaker sending us to harmonize on contentious issues. That is the legacy of Honorable Oulanyah. He started that culture, not on one or two occasions. When matters are so contentious, he would say, can you retreat and find and establish a common ground? And that is something we need to carry forward as an institution. I think it will be in his honor. 2, it also tells us that while we are in public life, those of us who have spent a little bit of our whole life in public life, there are things that we should always care about. Like Honorable Mao, Honorable Oulanyah, like some of us, started politics at a youthful age. And while you do that, you can resolve that could have affected his life was an injury he got as a student leader. He wasn't demonstrating to be in the university. He was there on government that the poorest of the poor can still access university. It's because of that demonstration that we still have government sponsorship in public universities. Government had decided to ensure that public education should be privately sponsored. I'd like to honor them and commit that we shall continue with the fight and that we shall have a better country and we shall struggle for Uganda to stand as a nation. That is something we owe this country. It was put together by colonialists. Let us avoid hibernating in our own tribe. I'm a chairperson of Buganda Caucus. I can only justify my stay as a chairperson by bringing Uganda to Uganda, not taking Uganda out of Uganda.
Thank you, Honorable Mwanga. In the public gallery, we have Honorable Nancy Marona, former Member of Parliament, Honorable Nusrat Tiperu, former Member of Yala and a current Ambassador of Turkey. You're most welcome. Honorable Grace Bagaya, former Member of Parliament of Nakasongola, welcome. Honorable Amoit Mariam, former Member of Parliament. Honorable Kataike Sara, you're welcome. Honorable Captain John Emily Etekat, former MP, you're most welcome. Honorable Anifa Kaoya. Honorable Anifa, then Kalule.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. I do also stand here to condole with the rest of the family, relatives, and the President and the country at large at the loss of our dear Speaker, Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah. Right Honorable Speaker, as they have said, I'm one of the people in this house, especially the female ladies that has been privileged to be here for some time. So I have known the late Right Honorable Jacobo as a mentor, and I know members, our colleagues, the new ones, will definitely miss his mentorship, but I'm happy that we got the Right Honorable Speaker and the Deputy Speaker who have been privileged to his mentorship. Honorable late Jacobo Oulanyah, his humor, especially in this house when it came to new members of Parliament, was unmatchable. He would encourage us always to be conversant with the rules of procedure. Even if you stood up and you were irrelevant in your presentation, he would be kind and polite enough to say, allow the member to deliver his maiden speech. He would not embarrass anybody. That's how he built confidence in all of us. He encouraged us to stand here and ensure that you have the right to talk, whether what you are talking is meaningful, as long as you have talked. And the next time we'll call you and say, this is how things are done. Other than confidence building, he had wanted all of us in this Parliament to balance the old, the new, those who have been here for a long time like me, and those who came for the first time, to show their capacity and capability while they are people's representatives. We ensured that we accorded each and all of us time, and he had time for us in the office. And I want to assure you, Right Honorable Speaker, the few months you have been here, you are definitely showed that he mentored you. Personally, I was touched. I was sworn in May 2021, and I was competing for the highest position on the African continent as a vice president for all Pan-African parliaments on the African continent. I was sponsored by the speaker then and the parliament and the government, and I went. I reached in Pan-African Parliament, I was sworn in for a second time. As I was doing my last time, I was called here to become a minister. I was sworn in a third time. When I met him, he said, you see, patience pays. You were struggling, you have been sworn in 3 times than me, your speaker. He says, how do you feel? I said, Right Honorable Speaker, patience of course pays because God's ways is not our ways. My friend, my mentor, may your soul rest in eternal peace.
Flavia.
Thank you very much, Madam Right Honorable Speaker. Today I stand here to remember the late Right Honorable Speaker Jacob Oulanyah as a man who was a huge advocate for women empowerment. In his words, he said, if a girl, right from her first 1,000 days of life, if a girl is given all resources, right from her first 1,000 days of life, that girl will grow up to challenge patriarchy and all the powers wielded against her. Right Honorable Speaker, as we stand here today, we have so many issues that battle and fight. The backlash against women's empowerment is real in this country. But I am glad to say that the Right Honorable Speaker, Jacob Oulanyah, who is lying here with us, recognized that women's economic empowerment was not only the right thing to do, but also the core development and smart objective in this country. And it is no wonder, no surprising, that he was educating a number of girls across the country. So with that women's advancement on gender equality, I call upon this august House to once again revamp and reopen the conversation on the marriage and divorce bill in this country so that we can be able to help women and girls out there. Finally, the Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah was a person that I was looking forward so much to learning from because he was a mentor in his speeches, in his plenary, when he was presiding over plenary. He mentored us, especially the new MPs, and protected us against senior colleagues, bullying us as we were making our speech plenary. So I learned a lot from him, and may his soul rest in peace. Thank you very much.
The senior member who was bullying the members, Honorable Segona. Then we have Minister of Lands, Northern Uganda, Foreign Affairs.
Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, in my history, bullying stopped in 1991 when I was in Senior 1 and a student was killed in Namirango. So for the record, I am a peacemaker and I do not encourage bullying. Colleagues, we congregate today to celebrate the life of our brother because it is worth our celebration. We are not here to celebrate the life of Lokori Jacob Oulanyah, who I fondly refer to as Ladit, because we are doing a ceremony. But we are doing this as something we owe a man of his personality. Ladit Jacob Oulanyah is somebody I knew when I was in high school. I was first attracted to his brain when he handled the case of Candida Lakony, the woman who had been mistreated in a barracks. I admired Jacob as a defense lawyer. At that time, I had nursed ambitions of being a lawyer, and I can say that the ambition was reactivated by the cross-examination of Jacob Oulanyah as against some lieutenant who had been pictured doing the abominable act on that lady. While I was in Makerere as Speaker of Makerere Law Society, I was tasked to organize a symposium at which I invited the Honorable Jacob Oulanyah. He came and spoke to us. Right Honorable Speaker, I think someone was unfairly getting me off the microphone, having said I'm senior and I've spoken for long. And since that time, we became friends, and our name for each other was Ladit, as you have witnessed. And Ladit, amongst us, the Luo, is a friend. I have been telling people that I have very close roots from Coach Goma in Noya. And I always teased him that I am more Luo than him. The Honorable Ladit Jacob Oulanyah was an intelligent man. And it is such people that we need to lead this country. We both agreed that this country does not need strong men, but intelligent, compassionate, and caring leaders. In him, we have missed that kind of leader. I said we are not mourning because he has carried the cross. He has fought. We have very limited time. Permit me, Right Honorable Speaker, to bring you condolences and the family, first, of course, from the people of Busiro County East, but more officially from the Afro-Pac leaders, where I represent this country as Vice Chairman of the Association of African Chairpersons for Public Accounts Committees, from the sub-regional network of AirPac, that is the East Africa, the SADC, which is the South African region, and WAPAC, as you know, the West African region, who have jointly conveyed condolences to you, Right Honorable Speaker, to this Parliament, and to the family of the late Honorable Jacob Oulanyah. Finally, if there is nothing we can get from the passing of the Honorable Oulanyah, let us get one thing: to be united as a country. Jacob Oulanyah told us one day that when you enter a public office, your journey out of that public office begins. If only we could understand that, Uganda would be, and I believe will be, a better place for us and for our children and generations in the future. I join the Vice President in agreeing that this is a motion worth our support, and I support the motion without reservation. I thank you, and may my brother rest in eternal peace.
Thank you so much, Honorable Segona, the senior bully.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I stand here to support the motion by Her Excellency, the Vice President, which was supported by all members of Parliament. Right Honorable Speaker, condolences to you, the Speaker of Parliament, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, and Ugandans at large. Right Honorable Speaker, the leader lying before us has been a unique leader. The Jacob Oulanyah I knew was a man who would always listen to whoever went to his office. He was there to guide us. He was there to encourage us. And he was there to always support us in the course of our work. Right Honorable Speaker, one thing I remember about Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah, he was a patron of the Children's Forum. I was an executive member of that forum. He used to support matters to do with children. And no wonder that even practically he has been helping a number of children by educating them. He helped us a lot in passing the bill on child sacrifice, the amendment on Children's Act. He was a brain behind who would always encourage members, meet them, give us views, and also lobbied most of you members to enable us have those bills passed in Parliament. Right Honourable Speaker, Right Honourable
Honourable Grace.
Right Honourable Speaker, I want to thank you for this opportunity, and my condolence goes to you, goes to His Excellency the President, goes to the people of Northern Uganda. We have lost a great icon of peace and unity, one who loves people. That's why he is always referred to as Dano Padano, a man of the people. As far as unity is concerned, if you go to his home, where you will be on Friday, he has built 2 churches, a Catholic church on one side, a Protestant church on another side, in a distance of less than 100 meters, meaning that even in religion, we can be united. He's a great human rights activist, always fronting the girl child and women's empowerment. We worked with him in Northern Uganda. During the campaigns, he was very visible, always arriving at campaign venues in style, with energy, singing or blowing his horn, dancing. He was a great man of peace. He lived a holistic life. He visited the whole of Northern Uganda when we were consulting to see if we can get Nusa 4, because poverty was still prevalent in Northern Uganda. And he always said, we can do it differently. We can always do it differently. And I want to thank the government, the cabinet, that it has allowed Nusa 4 to take root. He's always in peace. When you meet him, he's welcoming, he's saying thank you, he's saying I'm sorry, he's saying excellent. I remember when I gave my report, when I was chair of the Public Service and Local Government, he told me, excellent, excellent report. And you feel good that you can be appreciated by a leader. Under the leadership of Her Excellency the Vice President, we are mobilizing funds, which we shall give to the Education Fund, and we shall do it in time. He preached in many of his occasions at the last moment, and he told us, leaders of Northern Uganda, be as busy as a bee, make honey, which will bring people together. Don't be as busy as a fly, which will bring filth. And so we take it from him that we shall follow his footsteps. Right Honorable, rest in peace for God and my country.
Thank you. Foreign Affairs. Foreign Affairs, then a woman MP of Omoro. Members, you're going to speak.
Right Honorable Speaker Jacob Oulanyah.
You have a procedural matter?
Yeah, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. It is true that in the African culture, the in-laws speak last. And I've looked at the composition of this parliament and the composition of Uganda as well. All regions have been well represented, apart from the region of the in-laws. So could it be procedural right that after the Honourable Minister is done, the in-laws also have something to say. Thank you.
In the African culture, in-laws speak last. And we will appreciate you for giving us a woman from Bogisu. And the senior in-law is seated next to Honorable Mbayo. Senior in-law, you will speak last, and we'll thank you for giving us a wife. And indeed, Honorable Oulanyah was a nationalist. He was born of Lango, domiciled in Acholi, married in Bugisu. So, Honorable Minister.
Thank you. Right Honorable Speaker, Jacob Oulanyah. Right Honorable Speaker, Jacob Oulanyah. Right Honorable Speaker, Jacob Oulanyah. Madam Speaker, Oulanyah is not responding anymore. Oulanyah voice will not be heard in this house. Oulanyah will not respond to calls of his name. Oulanyah lies in the south, having left us. I have spoken so much about Oulanyah, just like you said that the other day that you will not cry anymore about Oulanyah. Madam Speaker, I don't want to speak much to give opportunity for others. But I just want to pick one thing and then extend my appreciations. Oulanyah was born in Acholi, but Oulanyah was beyond being an Acholi. Beyond. By the time Oulanyah died, Oulanyah was Teso, Langi, you name it. Even he was a Zambian, a Kenyan, a European, everywhere. There is nobody that I've come across in my life for 63 years in this world, 62 in this world, whom I've come across like Jacob Oulanyah. Oulanyah, in all pieces, was not a relative of mine. Not a relative in iota, not a relative of mine. But if Oulanyah has daughters, but I could not even allow my son to think of marrying Oulanyah's family. Because we were that close. We were like relatives. And I would feel it embarrassing that my children could marry, or I could marry into Oulanyah's family. He was that character who was above everything. When I met Oulanyah, in the hospital, visited Oulanyah in Dubai hospital, and Oulanyah would not tell us his challenges to them. And that's what Oulanyah was by the time I died. I want to just thank God. I want to thank God for giving us this wonderful man, wonderful brother, giving his children a wonderful father, giving his father a wonderful son. I want to thank God for giving this parliament Jacob Oulanyah during our lifetime. I am glad that God, in his wisdom, gave me to be born at a time and be in this parliament at a time when Oulanyah was in this parliament. I think I would have regretted if ever I came to parliament after Oulanyah was dead in this parliament. And those who will come after us will have missed the opportunity to have been served by a man of all men, a giant of all giants. I want to thank God for the life of Oulanyah. I want to thank his father for the life of Oulanyah. I want to thank you, Madam Speaker, for the life of Oulanyah. I want to thank the President of the Republic of Uganda for Oulanyah. Colleagues, friends, members of Parliament, I want to thank every single one of you for what love you have shown for Oulanyah, for what respect you showed for Oulanyah. I want to thank this country, those who stood by the roadside when Oulanyah came to this country, those who spoke, cried in their houses, those who never even met Oulanyah, Never even met Oulanyah. But they're shedding tears out there, shedding tears. But just having watched this man on television, see his behavior. I wish my father was like that. I want to grow up and be like that man. I want to thank every single one of you. God bless every single one of you. Every single one of you in your capacities for being so generous to this wonderful son of our brother that God gave us. Madam Speaker, give me the opportunity to thank the governments of different countries, especially the United States government. I want to thank the U.S. ambassador and the deputy U.S. ambassador for their going out of their way, really going out of their way, beyond their duty and obligation, to process expeditiously matters that related to Oulanyah being able to go to Seattle. Their visas, special clearance for the aircrafts, special clearance for the delegation, special clearance for the crew. The United States government, through the embassy of the United States government here, did everything possible to expedite at every single moment beyond working hours so that Oulanyah could be expeditiously flown out of this country. And given the Uganda Airlines special status and special registration to go into that country, otherwise it would have been impossible. We have delegations who will be coming to Uganda. We have delegations coming from Tanzania, delegations coming from Kenya, the DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. We have delegations coming from Zambia, the East African Legislative Assembly sending delegations, Burundi is facing legislations, the South Sudan embassy sending delegations. We have these delegations of close to 100 who are coming to bury Oulanyah from outside the country. And I believe that members of the diplomatic community in Uganda will also come to see Oulanyah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless every one of you. May the spirit and the soul of my brother live in eternal peace. Amen.
Thank you, Woman Member of Parliament, Omoro, Nantaba. Woman Member of Parliament.
Right Honorable Speaker and dear colleagues, I want to fully associate myself to the motion that was raised by the Vice President, seconded by the Prime Minister. Madam Speaker, the man we're speaking about, Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah, was a colleague in the constituency. Madam Speaker, Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah was a big brother. I got to know Jacob Oulanyah first hearing about him through my father during that time when they were congressmen. Madam Speaker, the man whose body is lying before us here lifeless today, Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah, was a great man. He achieved his greatness through hard work. When he was in the 9th Parliament, Madam Speaker, Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah advocated and lobbied because he was very passionate about services reaching the common man on the ground at the grassroots. He pushed hard and created Tochi County out of Omoro County in Gulu District then. Shortly after that, Madam Speaker, Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah, still because of him being very passionate about the common man at the grassroots, he again lobbied government and made sure Omoro District was created out of Gulu District. In 20, Madam Speaker, the man we are speaking about here today rose to greatness through hard work. As a district, we mourn him, but also we will dearly miss him as a father. He contributed a lot to the establishment of Omoro District, but he was very passionate about the issue of education of the children, health, economic transformation. Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the people of Omoro District, I want to say that when we look at the issue of cancer in our country, our brother got stolen away from us by death, and the cause, among others, was clearly spelled by Dr. Jenna Cheng as cancer. It is my appeal that government needs to fast-track the establishment of the Cancer Institute in Omoro District, which is at the moment limping, Madam Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, we will be grateful as Omoro District if special attention is put into the establishment of a fully fledged nodding syndrome center in the region, Madam Speaker, because it really stood for this. And finally, Madam Speaker, you've heard about the trust fund. On behalf of the people of Omoro District, we will be very grateful if colleagues stands with us and the whole country in establishing this trust fund. Right Honorable Speaker, the man we are speaking about here today, Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah, was great, not because he had too much money, but because he was able to touch so many lives in this country. And Madam Speaker, you are aware that because he valued life more than money, he even faced ridicule while he was in the hospital bed suffering and fighting for his life by those who value money more than life. The Right Honorable Speaker stood so much and valued relationship. And that is why even here in Parliament, if I may conclude, Madam Speaker, even here, whenever there are issues of national concerns that really needs urgent attention in the constituency, whenever I consult him, the Right Honorable Speaker, to raise it as a matter of national concern or take on a minister on the floor, he would advise, we better go diplomatic. He was a man who valued relationship. And Right Honorable Speaker, it is my prayers that from his legacy, from his good attributes of life, as a Parliament, we need to carry forward what our son, the Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah, stood for. Madam Speaker, on behalf of the people of Omoro, I want to thank honorable colleagues for standing with us. I want to thank very much the people of Uganda for standing with us. I want to thank so much government in a particular way for standing with us. We will be very much appreciative if our son is accorded the most befitting burial. Right Honorable Speaker, we look forward to meeting you all in Omoro. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Nantaba. Nyachi. Nantaba.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for according me this time to pay tribute to our fallen leader, a brother and a friend. Right Honorable, the late Right Jacob Oulanyah, now lying before us, whose journey we are celebrating.
Put on a mask.
Whose journey we are celebrating, whose life we are celebrating, and whose journey...
She has a problem with the mask.
Thank you, Right Honorable, for bearing with me. Right Honorable, a life to celebrate and a journey to remember. I personally will remember our fallen brother for reasons. In this country, we have all heard of the so-called mafias, and many of us have faced the wrath of these mafias in our term of service. Right Honorable, I happened to have faced them, and at that point I realized that it's always important that we should have leaders leading this Parliament who are objective and independent-minded. And that was Jacob Oulanyah. Because I learned in 2012 when I was appointed the Minister of State Lands, when these mafias realized I was going to take them on, they had to open up a serious fight. And they infiltrated and influenced the leadership of this House to block that appointment until such a time when Jacob had to step in and say enough is enough. I will not allow external forces to influence the leadership of this House, and I will make decisions independently. And that's how he managed to allow us to serve our nation in the capacities that had been designated to us. And that's why and how I'll always remember him, for standing and for making independent decisions. Number two, Right Honorable Speaker, this country has a fully fledged medical board. And according to the Minister of Health's report about Oulanyah's health, I read in between the lines that those competent doctors knew that Oulanyah's time was drawing nigh. And if they knew it, that whole jet had the space to accommodate his family. I have learned that it was so painful for him to die miles away from his closest family members. How I wish they had accommodated them, maybe to have them at his last hour. Next time, it could be me, it could be you. Let us always consider the feelings of those close by, especially in our families, to always be close when we are seeing and breathing our last. I thank you, Right Honorable, and on behalf of the people of Kayunga, I condole with the family and convey our sincere message.
Thank you. In the gallery, we have councillors from Soroti City Council. We have Councillor Kelo Daniel. You're most welcome. We have Mr. Koropot Silva Edoku. You're welcome. These are from represented by Bwalu Jonathan, Annette Nakato. Honorable Rukari after Annette.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Kazo, Budiope East.
I join the rest of the colleagues and the entire country to mourn the great man, the late Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, condolences from Buyende District. I want to say the following three things. One, I want to appreciate you for being a caring mother, because you looked for the late Right Honorable Speaker even when he was in his last pains. I want also to take this opportunity to thank Honorable Mau for being a genuine friend, and our Chief Justice for being genuine friends to the late Honorable. Lastly, the previous election of the speakership left Busoga divided. I want to call upon the members from Busoga region that the cause is now no more. I call upon that let us join and become one. It is not a war for anybody to decide and choose to defend or to support a side. May I join the rest of the friends and wish the fallen great man rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
Thank you, members. Don't echo. That is a maiden speech. Rukari, Honorable Rukari. Honorable.
Thank you. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I come here to speak on behalf. Thank you. I come here to speak on behalf of the people of Mbara State North. I have like 5 hearts to talk about the Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah. One, I'm a member of the club of over 32 years with Jacob from Makerere University. the incident that is commonly talked about, known as the Black Monday. That incident happened when Jacob engaged with security. I was like 4 or 5 meters away. Jacob, as my guild president, they've talked about him as a very good speaker. His oratory values were unchallengeable. But I came to be friends with Jacob because of Chairman Mao up here. In the 90s, when they started their chamber, Jacob Oulanyah and Onaria, around Uganda Road, Jacob started being my personal lawyer. Jacob joining politics. In all Jacob's campaigns, I was funding Jacob Oulanyah. I have done businesses with Jacob. He was not a business person. I am the only one that would force Jacob to do businesses. I beg your pardon. Jacob as a member of SEC. For us in SEC, he was a beacon of hope. You agree SEC is the Central Executive Committee of the mighty NRM. Once we caucus with Jacob Oulanyah in a small group, before the principal or any other person, you know Jacob Oulanyah will push our ideas of what we want. Jacob Oulanyah as my friend and my brother. In the evening hours of Jacob, I've been going to Jacob's home all the time. But what I have heard from colleagues and other people, Jacob Oulanyah had self-sacrifice, like a savior. Because for human beings, in the last month, when you would see Jacob walking, none of us, if any, would do it. When you would go to his bedroom and you are with him, and the person who was outside smiling, you would get worried. However, I last met him physically in December at around 10 a.m. in his home, in his bedroom. We had just traveled, like a week before we had traveled to Ofono Pondo's home with Chairman Mao and others. We found them there. I flew with him in a private jet. Because of his time, I delayed. I found him seated in the plane, and he ridiculed me that Ambassador Kari, which ambassadors, you're supposed to keep time. But we traveled, went to Miranda, came back. He would be smiling, even dancing yoreng at the function. We come back at home. You don't see anything until he has entered his bedroom. As I conclude, Madam Speaker, in his bedroom, he told me like 2 or 3 times. And when he would say it, he would walk away. That Robert, but my children. That Robert, but my children. 3 times. And he would walk away and come back and change the topic. And I regret why I would not engage him then. I've just seen it, the signal he was sending to us, and I'm happy with the foundation we started to contribute for his children. With those many words, he cut across all sub-regions. We are brothers, and may God rest him in eternal peace.
Thank you, Robert, and I really want to thank Chairman Mao for being a true friend, and CJ, thank you for being true friends to Jacob. And talked about Kazo, Budiope East, Oulanyah.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Nena Leon.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I join the rest of my colleagues to extend my condolences to the country and the people of Omoro County. Right Honourable Speaker, it has been 14 days or 16 now of very painful experience of mourning our leader, Right Honorable Oulanyah. However, at some point when you reflect, you feel a sense of hope. A sense of hope that when there is a deficit of honest leaders, we can have one theologize and say he was a honest leader. A sense of hope when we have high tribal undertones, we can eulogize one and say he was a unifier and a nationalist. A great sense of hope that we are talking about a person who embraced transformational politics. That from UPC he fits well in NRM, and even within NRM he ascends to the highest level of leadership. And everyone appreciates him as a great leader. That is the hope that even amidst great pain, some of us feel, and it resurrects our soul to believe that greater things are yet to come. Right Honourable Speaker, I was following keenly when we are bringing the body of our leader from Entebbe Airport. There is something spectacular that came out. The adorable people standing on the highway, the road of Entebbe Road, to wave to the Right Honourable Speaker. It demonstrated love and acceptability. How I wish leaders emulate this. Right Honourable Speaker, I also want to congratulate you that for the very first time, you have had the first bench full. I wish they continue to do this in the remembrance of our foreign speaker. But very finally, Right Honourable Speaker, how I wish that the spirit of Right Honourable Oulanyah keeps us awake and we end medical tourism in this country. Right Honourable Speaker, there are very few people who can afford what Right Honourable has gone through his medical journey. We have talked about Rubowa. We can talk about other facilities, but it is time that if Parliament, 11th Parliament, even if we don't do anything else, if we can put our foot on ground and end medical tourism, we'll have enriched him even where he is, and may his soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you. Ethiopia East, Dana Leon.
Right Honourable Speaker, and the members, the colleagues. I join the colleagues to convey condolences from the people of Ethiopia East, but also from another fraternity that the late belonged to that is not represented in this house, and that's the fraternity of sport. As we are all aware, the late had so many attributes, and he had also an attribute in the area of sport. He's a renowned biker, as already mentioned, but as some of you know, he's also a boxer and was also a goalkeeper. When people die, the only way we can remember them is taking forward what they believed in and what they valued. I'm fortunate to have hosted the late in one of his last public appearances when he was jovial, humorous, laughing, and that was just in December. And in his own words, he said, "Where I sit in a place that takes decisions, which decisions affect people." And I'm quoting, "I'll make sure that where I sit, we are able to provide what is required for the fraternity of sports in terms of infrastructure, in terms of funding, and in terms of the law." These are words that are going to remain in my mind, in my head, And I call upon this august house that if there is anything we need to do, is to make sure that we take forward what he loved and what he believed in. In my own belief, I'll say, Inna lillahi wa inna lillahi raji'un. Thank you.
Aisha, you will translate at your own time. Honorable Mama Mabira, then Alion.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm here to second the motion moved by Her Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Uganda. I will condone Right Honorable Speaker with His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, the Vice President, and you, Right Honorable Speaker, and the people of Uganda at large. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, here we are for a great man. I want to thank all those who tried to save the life of Jacob, starting from His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, all the doctors in their various capacities who have tried to save the life of Right Honorable Speaker. I would also like to thank those who were by his bedside. And in a special way, Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to thank Patricia Lakidi, a lady whom I believe gave the last glass of water to Right Honorable Speaker. I would like to thank you, friends, for all across the country for loving and honoring Jacob, the son of the soil. The gentlemen in this house, Right Honorable Speaker, if you looked at them today across the board, if only my brother Jacob could open an eye, he would point a finger at you and then give you a very broad smile. Right Honorable Speaker, I just want this unity to be kept for all of us. As a leader from northern Uganda, we can only thank you, fellow countrymen, fellow countrywomen, for the love and the unity you have exhibited, for the testimonies you are giving to the fallen son. He has indeed been a unifying factor. Right Honorable Speaker, I just want to employ this Parliament to amplify the passion Right Honorable Speaker had for the nodding children. You are aware these are forgotten children, and he was our mouthpiece. We have a home in Tumango and in Omoro, which was built by an American doctor, Dr. Susan, whom I went to America and he came and put up these structures. And as we speak, Right Honorable Speaker and friends, it has been abandoned. Please, let's restore this. We have these nodding children in Kitgum, Pade, and Omoro. Lastly, Right Honorable Speaker and friends, we have all agreed that we need to support the family of Honorable Jacob Oulanyah. I just want to tell the children that be proud, your father was such a great man. Walk with your heads high, don't be shy. We are here to testify that. But friends, as we leave this place, Right Honorable Speaker, I pray that we make a firm resolution, and it is not inventing the wheel. We have ever, as Parliament, agreed at once to contribute to the cancer machine in Zambia Hospital. And all the members of Parliament had to contribute about $1 million. I pray, Right Honorable Speaker, if we are serious about this foundation, Jacob Oulanyah Fund Trust Fund, that colleagues, we agree and make one-off contribution which the Right Honorable Speaker will take into that fund. If we agree, we can contribute 1 million shillings and it's deducted once and we deliver in that fund to cater for the children of the fallen friend. Jacob, may your soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you, Honorable Anywa. There is a suggestion that we contribute just 1 million for that fund in the spirit of love, Ubuntu. Ubuntu, we contribute 1 million. Is that seconded? The ayes have it. We are going to get 1 million. Alioni, then we come this side.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I wish to join all of you, send my condolences to the bereaved family. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable members, I know it's a sad moment for us. When I joined the 10th Parliament in 2016, I received a call from Jacob Oulanyah. He told me, Alioni, I have done my research. I want to meet you. He directed me to his home. Indeed, we met. He told me, from my research at Makerere University, I'm told you made Henry Chibalia a guild president. I said, yes, sir, and he's a member here. He told me again, I'm told, you mobilized and made Gerard Karuhanga a guild president. Indeed, he was with us here also in Parliament, in the 10th Parliament. Right Honorable Speaker, you are very much aware of that. Honorable members, Jacob asked me, I want you to join my team. And I'm going to contest as Speaker of the 10th Parliament. Indeed, I joined him. We took it head on until the last days of us getting into office. And later on, we went for deputy. And in the 11th Parliament, God blessed us. He became our Speaker. But unfortunately, the Lord has taken him. In January, he called me. He says, I'm coming to thank the people of Northern Uganda, but I'm starting from West Nile, for having voted me as the Vice Chair and also the Speaker of the Parliament. In this January, he was in West Nile. I hosted him. Every time he's in West Nile with his entire team, all his meals are in my house. After the function, he went to my farm and planted a mango tree. I named it Omoro. That was January this year. February this year, when he fell ill, I thank His Excellency. He had to send a team to pick him from his house. After 6 days in Mulago, in the specialized women hospital, 7th floor, he instructed the security to call me to come and see him on his sick bay. I came on Monday. Honorable members, you couldn't believe. I was with him on Monday, but he was flown to Seattle on Thursday. He told me, I have been sick before. I know the pain of sickness, but this one is too much. I am not surviving anymore. I have few days to go. His son Andrew was there, my witness. I broke down. He told me to tell members, it's all about forgiveness. He told me to tell you members and his brothers, the children.
Honorable members, I don't usually like doing that, but there is an extremely special relationship between Honorable Arion, which the late Jacob Oulanyah told me about. So please, just let's give him another 1 minute, and he say what he wants to say.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you, colleagues. I'm going to pick 5 people here. I pick 5 people here. Because it's a free sitting, so those of this side, I request you'll be seated. Don't mind. Let me just pick 5 here. I'll pick Honorable Felix Okotogong. I add on Honorable Auma Heren. I add on Wakiso. I add on Honorable Gilbert Oulanyah. And Honorable Barimwezo. Okay? Please, don't mind. Don't mind, but what I'm going to do, it will be strictly 2 minutes. Strictly. So that each one of you at least can say what? Strictly 2 minutes.
Right Honourable Speaker, I stand here to pay tribute to my brother, the Right Honourable Speaker, Honourable Jacob Oulanyah. Fare thee well, my brother, my friend and colleague, and my hero. You have gone so soon and left behind unbearable pain and sorrow to many people. The thought of never seeing you again brings tears in my eyes, even more so because it was a big surprise to me. The memories of our student days at Makerere University remain so fresh and vivid in my mind. I will never forget the good times and jokes in our room in Mitchell Hall, room C41. Our journey continued with colorful episodes and fond memories, and we remained close and shared many secrets until your departure. My brother Jacob Oulanyah Lukori, I will always miss you. I miss your smile. I miss your infectious laugh. I miss your happiness that you always had. I miss you. I feel so low because you passed on so soon before achieving your dreams. Your dream of a united, peaceful, democratic, and a transformed Uganda. Your dream of corruption-free.
Honorable Auma, please, I'm not adding any minute to anyone. I want other colleagues to get a chance.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. With due respect, I extend my condolences to the family and to the whole world. The late Right Honorable Speaker was not only useful in Uganda, but he extended his knowledge in different countries. Our neighboring country, Kenya, sends its condolences to Ugandans. The little I know about the late speaker, he was critical. The Right Honorable Speaker used not to talk because he wanted to talk. He had evidence and he would do research. The little I know about the late Honorable Speaker, he is a developmental character. Okay, thank you so much. The little I know about the late, he is a developmental character. He has worked hand in hand with we colleagues. Actually, I remember last year, in December, when we were going to Arusha, I was left out, and I was a good one doing training. When I approached him, he told me, Mama Busa, you have to go to Arusha. And I made it. So, for these few words I've spoken, may his soul rest in eternal peace.
Honorable members, you see, all of you here, you're equal. Okay? I've just heard the member going out saying, this is stupid, how can they give me just 2 minutes, the whole of me? Please, you came through the same channel. Others came through to come here. So if you think you're special, you'll go for your own parliament, not the one I'm presiding over. Okay? Honorable Chirumira Hassan. Wakiso, then Honorable Chirumira Hassan.
Thank you so much.
Wakiso, then Honorable Chirumira Hassan next.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Bet Ethonalima is my name. We also condole with you and the entire nation at this demise of our Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah. Right Honorable Speaker, from the Rotary family, it's very evident that Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah really served above self. It's clear that he stood for the values of Rotary, which include service, diversity, integrity, leadership, among others. It's very key that we all emulate this as we continue to mourn. As one, I was aided so much when it came to the motion. I first presented the motion concerning the locally raised revenue of local governments. It really showed mentorship skills. And I want to ask once again this parliament, let's stand for local governments, such that his role as speaker, as a mentor, as a tutor, as a coach to us who are first-timers in this parliament does not go in vain. I want to pray that every one of us, as remember Right Honorable Oulanyah, will always stand for local governments. And in this budget, we see that we increase the budget of local governments. I wish to submit, Speaker.
Chirumira Hassan.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. The people of Katikam South and the Muslim community condole the entire country for the demise of our leader. We pray to the Almighty Allah that the soul of our beloved Thank you. Right Honorable Speaker, every situation is a learning situation, and it is incumbent upon us to learn from the death of the Right Honorable Speaker, Jacob Oulanyah. In my final engagement with the leader, talking about leadership without position, and he enjoined us to be leaders without positions as new entrants in Parliament. Actually, he advised us to read a certain book, and that book is Leaders Without Position. I enjoin each and every member of Parliament to go and read about that book, because it's going to give us a clear way going forward as a leader. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Gilbert Oulanyah, then Tinka Simre, I go this side.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, because of time, there is something going wrong in this country. Right Honorable Speaker, we need to be serious. I remember in Acholi sub-region, when we had just buried General Lokech, there were information moving on social media that the next person will be the Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah. Before he died, Right Honorable Speaker, something is going wrong in this country. We should not bury our head on the sand. There is something going wrong. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, right now we have received the causes of the death.
Orders.
According to the father said his son called him and said he was poisoned. Right now, the minister said our brother died out of cancer. We need to investigate.
No, Honorable Gilbert.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Gilbert, please. Honorable Gilbert. Honorable Gilbert, please, that language is not a language we need now. The doctors, colleagues, please. Honorable Gilbert, I don't want members to first raise order on you. Sometimes, colleagues, we have to raise order on ourselves. We have to behave in such a manner. I know I had a lot of statements, but all these came before the doctors came out to explain. All explanations have been made. Please, Honorable Gilbert, take your seat. Please take your seat.
Most obliged.
No, please.
Honorable Speaker, most obliged.
Please.
But we should.
Honorable Gilbert, please take your seat. And clerk, his statement should be expunged from the record of Parliament. Please.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Gilbert, you're done. Please, I'm just going to Honorable Tinka, then Barmwezo.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable
Speaker, mindful of the language we are using
for this opportunity.
Honorable Tinka, colleagues, I don't want to appear harsh, but there is a language we shall not accept on our Hansard. Okay? There is a language we shall not expect on our Hansard. Please, I request you, colleagues, don't push a presiding officer into a corner. So, clerk, expunge the record of Honorable Gilbert from the Hansard.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My condolences to the family and to the grieving nation about the death of our fallen colleague, Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah. Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah phoned me when I had done one term, and particularly when we were having party primaries, when he wanted to become a deputy speaker. As he was caucusing, he said, "You man, you came after me at Makerere University, but I remember you were in Mitchell Hall. Remember very well the anthem of our hall that we have to carry the banner. And I am not carrying the banner alone. I want to carry the banner with you." It was my first time to interact with him. I thought about it, but I had my candidate. The point that he won the election and became a speaker, when he was in that chair, Right Honorable Speaker, and convinced about a position that would serve the country, he would stick to it. I want to, I think in 2015, we were passing a motion to create Kagadi district. There was a lot of controversy.
Engineer Barmwezo.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Your indulgence, Mr. Speaker.
No, Honorable
At
Tinka,
least I
please.
sing the anthem for...
No, please. Honorable Barmwezo.
No, over Mitchell Hall.
Honorable Tinka, please be orderly.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the people of Nakawa East constituency.
Procedure, Right Honorable Speaker.
Please, Honorable Tinka. Number one, you are out of order for accessing a microphone without my permission.
Procedure.
Please, you can't access a microphone without my permission. Please. Honorable Barmwezo.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the people of Nakawa East constituency and my own behalf, I want to express sympathy to all Ugandans for the great loss of the country's best orator. Right Honorable Speaker, it is not how many years you have lived on the earth. Can you protect me, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, it's not how many years you have lived on the earth, but the legacy that you're leaving. Jesus Christ lived for a mere 33 years.
He was able to leave a legacy. Jacob Oulanyah, Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah has left a legacy. And it's not too late for us to emulate him, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, Jacob was passionate. He was a passionate believer of the fruits of the Holy Spirit. He loved the peace. He loved the joy. He loved the patience. He was a hard worker. And therefore, we should emulate him. I remember at a time when he blessed one of us. I am a person living with a disability, and I'm the captain for the Dutch team. There is a little person that he offered school fees for, and this little person is a volunteer here. How I wish you could help Yubu, I think it's called Yubu, that little person to acquire a job here, because he was singly supporting him. I want to always remember this gentleman. We have lost a man, particularly.
Honorable Tim Go. I'm going to this side. Honorable Tim Go, Honorable Nandara Mafabi, Honorable Musasizi Henry. Yes, I'll first pick those three. I have a list here. Colleagues, if we can use 2 minutes, each one of us is going to be given an opportunity. And my corner, please, the people in my corner, you are assured. Honorable Tim Go. Hey, yes, you're losing your opportunity. You're the one I started with. Please get in a nearby microphone. Okay, Honorable Nandara, then Tim Go will come next.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would seek your indulgence. We are the two nurses who were told by doctors not to put on the masks. And two, I again seek your indulgence that you give me slightly more than 2 minutes. No, I'll explain. Listen to me. Listen to me. Yes, because this gentleman is our son-in-law. Two, I came here in Parliament in 2001 with him. Three, if you remember the famous motion on the sale of UCB, where I was the mover of the motion, and he was the scandal, and that shows how he loved this country. So that's why I'm seeking your indulgence for an extra 1 more minute. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker and honorable members. Mr. Speaker, in 2001, I came to Parliament with Jacob Oulanyah. By then, we treated each other as brothers, as friends, and my name used to call me Mukwasi. Mukwasi meant a brother-in-law. All our time with him, we were calling one another brothers-in-law Mukwasi. In fact, even one time in the house here, he made a mistake to say Mukwasi speak, forgetting those are the things we talk from out. He's a gentleman. When he was a Speaker of Parliament, Deputy Speaker of Parliament, there was a crisis in this house. And that's why I want you to learn from it also, because the Deputy Speaker now. There was a crisis. There were colleagues of ours who caused a HMA here, and they were suspended. They were been given not to be in the house for 10 consecutive sittings. And it was a ruling. He was very angry. He looked in my face. I smiled. He wrote me a cheat that we should meet in his chambers. I told him, sir, you have never been harsh like that, always. But I think as a Christian, forgive. And one of the people who had been suspended was Honorable Semujo, Honorable Dongoto, and the following day, I was made to speak on their behalf, and they agreed to rescind a decision which I had taken the previous day. In 2002 and stroke 3, we wanted to go and capture Uganda House as young congressmen. We were being led by Honorable Amriat Oboy. And indeed we were determined. On the steps, of Parliament, Honorable Sisi Ogwal, and Honorable Ekule Park came and got us, said, you young men, you must be after wrong, you are on something wrong. It is Honorable Cooper who betrayed us. He said we are going to Uganda House to capture. Of course, Honorable Jacob felt a bit bitter, but he smiled. He had a very good smile, and we agreed that we would plan for another day. Unfortunately, the day never came. Instead, many of us left, but he stayed in Uganda House until some time when he left UPC. So, Mr. Speaker, Jacob, despite all hard times we would have, he was one of the peacemakers we had. He had a very, that's the serious issue. He would have that smile and things would cool out.
Honorable, I can only give you 4 minutes.
Oh,
I can't give you 6.
Okay, thank you very much.
You've already used 4.
Let me conclude. So thank you very much, Mr. So, Mr. Speaker, he has died. We're all going to die. But I'm very sorry to hear some people clamoring for money that they want. If he was here, he would have called that in his office, talk about the budget, but he's not calling us. For us in our culture, we contribute money to send off people, not to eat. For those who are clamoring to eat it, I'm asking God that call them immediately to go with him. May his soul rest in peace.
Honorable Tim Go. Honorable Tim Go.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for according me time. For the sake of the record, my name is Otim Giu Isaac. I bring my sincere condolences to the family from the people of Padiere County in Nebi District and my fellow members from West Nile region. Mr. Speaker, for the little time I got to know the late Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah, it was a time where it was very inspirational because he always, every time you spent with him, he was always trying his best to mentor you. It was like he knew he didn't have much time to be with us. And I'm sure all members will say the same, that the little time you met him, he will make sure that he didn't say goodbye without saying a word or two that may help you along the way. I would also like to thank our late Right Honorable Speaker that when he came back after the first time when he was really absent and he was sick, he made sure that he toured West Nile region, he toured Gulu, and he toured Lango region to thank the members there for what they did for the vote for NRM. Despite the fact that he was weak, he made that movement. And he has gone, but he left after thanking the people. And I hope all of us members, whoever had any grievances or anything with the Right Honourable Speaker, let us leave it to him so that he may rest in peace. Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Musasizi.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, on behalf of the people of Rwanda East and on my own behalf, I would like to extend condolences to the family of the late Jacob Oulanyah upon his passing on. Right Honourable Speaker, in 2015, when we were enacting the Public Finance and Management Act, that is when I got an opportunity to get close to the late Right Honourable Jacob Oulanyah. He told me that I didn't know that you were very brilliant until he realized from the debate and the logical arguments some of us were putting forward. Later on, in the 10th Parliament, I became the chairperson of the Finance Committee, and I got an opportunity to work with him very, very closely. I have a lot to talk about him, but because of time, I want to say one point about the late, which was reliability. He's a kind of person whom you would agree with, and you would not panic whether he will do what you have agreed upon or not. Whenever I would call him to thank him for doing what I had asked him today to do, he would just tell me, but you know me. That was the sense of reliability I picked from him. And another last point was trust.
Colleagues, in the gallery, Honorable Musasi, you understand the time we have. Colleagues, in the gallery, we have Honorable Gama Ismail, a Member of Parliament, Honorable Kafero Sektoreko, Honorable Maganda Julius, former Minister for East African Affairs, Minister of State, Honorable Komakechi Riandro, a very great friend to the late Right Honorable Oulanyah, Ambassador Mumtaz Kasam also is with us. And then we have our NOTU chairperson, Mr. Owere. We also have our very Honorable Wamanga Wamai Jack, Honorable Caroline Okao, former MP and former Minister for Microfinance, Honorable Umar Rure Mawia, Honorable Timu George, former MP, Honorable Akrut Violet, former MP, Honorable Dong Lile, former MP, Honorable Keros Livia, former MP, and the Secretary General of the Democratic Party, Dr. Slanda Gerard. So, Honorable Alex Ruhunda.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Our fallen gallant son of Uganda, he was a strong Pan-Africanist. And I'm a patron of the Uganda Pan-African Pyramid, and he was our member. Us who still believe in the importance of this color, and we are very proud of it as Africans. And he hated these tribal differences because in this era, as I'm speaking, Uganda has deteriorated so much. We have become extremely tribal, and this is very dangerous for the future of this country. How I wish people who are here, remembering this gallant son, can't we carry this spirit and take the Uganda we want forward? These are very serious matters. If you really think you love Oulanyah, love Uganda with one heart, love Ugandans, and work for Ugandans, these tribes can never take us anywhere in this 21st century. So for me, I believe very strongly, and why I was so close with Jacob Oulanyah. We were very close. Why? Because we believe in a strong Africa. We believe in raising the competence of this color such that we can be globally competitive and enjoy the global cake as human beings on this planet. That is Oulanyah. So Oulanyah, my friend, we've shared a lot. Rest in peace.
Youth Central, Honorable Chilabo Agnes. Colleagues, I'm receiving cheats from you. But you see, the cheats you're sending, I've already received like 50. So, I know each one of all of you, and I'll ensure you all speak. Just let's do 2 minutes, and we all speak. Yeah. Honorable Chilabo Agnes.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I'm so sorry to the countrymen and women, more especially the youths of Central Region who I represent, and our colleagues, the youths of the Northern Region, upon the loss of our big brother, our mentor, our friend, the Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah, who has been an extremely reliable person to the young people, irrespective of the political spectrums. As a first-time parliamentarian, I will always keep at memory and forever apply his guidance as he guided us in line of execution of duties as parliamentarians. If I remember well, he once said that we should always put national interest above self and party, because in life one might change the political party, but it is very hard or even unusual to change the nationality and citizenship. So I encourage all members, honorable colleagues, to put the interests of people we represent on the top. We should prioritize the interests of the people of Uganda than the political parties we are affiliated to. I thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Very good. Honorable Atima Lee Jackson Buti, Arua Central. Don't mind the time I spend here, I'll ensure I spend it here. Okay? Yes. We shall have a balance.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the people of West Nile, Arua City, and Arua Central Division, and on my own behalf, I wish to extend our heartfelt condolences to His Excellency, the Parliament of Uganda,
Don't worry, they are going to pick me.
the people of Northern Uganda, the people of Omoro, upon the demise of our beloved brother, Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah. He has been a great leader, a mentor, a counselor, a friend, and I want to sincerely say this country has lost a great man. I remember when he invited me to his office. That was last year, December. That Honorable Jackson, can you come and we decide on when to go to Northern Uganda? And I thank the people for giving me the position of Vice Chair Northern Uganda and for electing you members of Parliament who gave me the responsibility of leading in the speakership. And indeed, when we went to Northern Uganda, Right Honorable Speaker, the man you see lying here went and spread the word of unity and love to us. We went to West Nile, Acholi Lango, and his...
Honorable Baranda, followed by Honorable Rakojo, Robina.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I condone with you. I condone with His Excellency the President and all Ugandans. Right Honorable Speaker, before us is a remarkable son. Right Honorable Speaker, before us is a remarkable son of this land. In Jacobo, Uganda has lost an authentic, truthful, and God-fearing leader who expressed courage and strength of character in his entire life journey. Parliament of Uganda has lost a mentor and a big development resource. We will always remember his integrity, his honesty, and his power of speech. His straightforwardness, his boldness, and determination in action will forever be marked to his memory. When he determined the right course of action, he stood by his word. He did not change anyhow, and he spoke his mind. We all unite here to speak these departing words about Jacobo as testimony of a deep-hearted appreciation for the earthly works that the Lord enabled him to do. May the Almighty God grant his soul in eternal peace.
So, Honorable Rakojo, Honorable Remeji Achia, Honorable Saro Pendi, Honorable Mara. Then I go this side. And colleagues, let us, I picked 10 people here, I'll pick 10 here. I'll also ensure we include that side.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Permit me to extend condolences, sincere condolences from the people of Gomba West to yourself, to the President, and to the three arms of government as they stand. Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah was a seasoned lawyer. He was a lawyer par excellence. He was the chairperson of the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee from 2001 to 2005. And right now, I am the chairperson, and he had a special relationship with us. He was a master of legislative procedure. He taught us in this house by correcting us and being insistent on proper adherence to the rules of procedure. He was an orator. He had a sense of humor, which he joyfully shared with the house. He was God-fearing. He was a singer, and he loved culture. He was a sportsman, and he loved biking. He had a big heart, as was manifested in the number of children that he educated. Permit me, Mr. Speaker, sir, to request members of the legal profession and those on the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee to stand up and bow in his honor. Thank you.
How can you instruct you when the Speaker is in chair? You don't have powers over the House. You don't have powers over the House. Even those who stood up, it is wrong.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, all of us want to say something. We may not exhaust all of this today. I want Mr. Speaker to move under Rule 61 of our Rules of Procedure to cause an amendment to the motion before us that we establish a day every year, a Memorial Day, when we honor the life and the challenges and the benefits we derive from the life of Oulanyah. Colleagues, there is a precedent. This man has been a man of fast. He has now died, again, unfortunately, the first speaker to die when he's a speaker. In Bank of Uganda, there is a Mubiru Memorial Lecture. In the DPP, there is John Kagesi Lecture. Can I now move under Rule 61 that this Parliament supports the establishment or declaration of a day when we remember the life of Oulanyah, so that we can always have him remembered in our lives and have a recourse to a Jacob Oulanyah Memorial Day? I beg to move.
Colleagues, I think we could do this at a time of prayer, like the speaker had earlier on guided. When we are looking at prayers, okay, before we make a final resolution, we capture it as, under prayers. This is a very brilliant idea, Honorable, and please, we've taken note. When the time for passing the resolution comes, let's capture it under prayers so that members can vote on it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If you so wish, I can at a later date formally move an amendment to the prayers to make prayer number 3 that Jacob Oulanyah Memorial Day be established and be celebrated every year by this Parliament.
Honorable Saro Pendi.
Thank you very much.
Colleagues, if you've heard very well, he's saying by this Parliament. So it's an internal matter. It's not that costly to the government, public holiday and all that. So this is an issue we can look at internally as the House.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I bring condolences to the family, the Parliament and Uganda as a whole, from the people of Tororo and from myself, for the loss of this gallant son that I met in 2011 when we had all been elected. And I remember as NRM members of Parliament, we were traveling to Entebbe for the very first meeting. And the late jumped into the bus with his bow tie and said, "Here I come. Please support me for the position of Deputy Speaker," and that is history. Right Honourable Speaker, we are paying tribute to this gallant son. We will have mourned and eulogized. We will have mourned and eulogized the late in vain if we do not do the following things, Right Honourable Speaker. He was extremely passionate about children. And Right Honourable Speaker, there are so many children on the streets, close to 15,000 now. There is a lot of torture and violence against children. We need to make this a risky venture because every day we are seeing on our TVs children being tortured by either their stepmothers or other people who are in their charge. Right Honourable Speaker, we will have mourned and eulogized the late in vain if we don't end the road accidents. He was a biker. One of the reasons why he was not riding his bike is because the roads are they are not safe. I would wish to see a Uganda with the 4 lanes as we move up country, not the 2 lanes. And that's why we have, Right Honourable Speaker, we will have eulogized the late in vain.
Honourable Sarah, please. Honourable Sarah.
Can I end, Right Honourable Speaker?
Please
if we don't deal with the challenge of corruption.
Conclude, I'll say a whoop.
Thank you very much. If we don't end the issue of corruption, Right Honourable Speaker, the late Jacob, I did not support him. But as soon as he won the elections, I went to his office to congratulate him. And we had a long chat. I had reasons. For me, I had indicated, let us maintain the status quo. Let us support him as deputy and the speaker as Kadaga as speaker. But with that, all that ended. He told me, I have cases of corruption here. There are people receiving money on behalf of members of Parliament, and this is tarnishing the name, the image of this Parliament. He had hoped that we would find time and deal with this challenge as an institution. Unfortunately, it was not done. Honourable colleagues, let us ensure, if we are really serious and mourning and eulogizing the late, that we deal with this cancer called corruption, first as an institution and then outside. Lastly, Right Honourable Speaker, on behalf of the women of this Parliament and the men, we wish to convey our condolences, but also to urge each and every member in this House, let us plant a tree in memory of the late Jacob Oulanyah, because he was also very passionate about environmental issues. Thank you very much, Right Honourable
Honourable Mara. And colleagues, after Honourable Mara, we have a situation. You know, we have to be practical sometimes. We have our Muslim brothers and sisters, and we've not arranged fasting. Is it iftar? Breaking the fast. We don't have any arrangement of that nature, and their time for fasting is coming. So I will allow a few of them, and then we proceed after. Honourable Mara.
Right Honourable Speaker, on behalf of the people of Botuke and on my own behalf, we would like to send our condolences to you, the President, and the nation for the untimely demise of our brother Jacob. Right Honorable Speaker, I have known the late J.O. for the last 33 years during our days at Makerere University. However, I got to know the character of the man during the recent Speaker's election. Many of us were on his side, mobilizing for his election. The Right Honorable Speaker, there's something that I learned from Jacob. We were, as usual, trying to deploy strategy and tactics to win. Some of them is strongly disapproved of. And as his mobilizers were wondering what kind of man he was, he respected his opponent. He respected the rules that were put in place by SEC. And we would say, let's do it. Say, no, you can't do that. So he maintained the spirits of rules and procedures, of obeying the rules up to the dot. Right Honorable Speaker, one of the missions of JO was to have a debate in this House about the Uganda we want. That debate, we have never had it. I would like to urge you, the Right Honorable Speaker, to really have a day or several days where this House can discuss about the Uganda we want.
Honorable Mara, that's not how you ask for more time. Honorable Huda Olelu.
May God rest his soul in eternal peace.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I know late Jacob as a speaker in 9th Parliament, but I came close to him when I was part of his delegation under EU ACP. That gave me opportunity to have more discussions with him. I now know him better when he joined SEC. SEC is the Central Executive Committee of the Mighty Party. Therefore, I want to speak on behalf of the SEC members who are not members of Parliament to talk about Oulanyah. Right Honorable Speaker, in 2016, when late Jacob Oulanyah expressed interest to stand as a speaker, as members of SEC, we took a decision that let him remain as a speaker. Being a loyal cadre, being respectful, he retained his position as a deputy speaker, although it was very painful at that time because indeed he had mobilized. But he respected the decision of SEC. Therefore, in 2021, he came to us. He said, SEC members, here I am again today. Last time you told me I should wait. Today I'm here. I also want to hear from you what you are going to tell us. Therefore, even SEC members who still wanted to say, please remain, it was very difficult for us at this moment. We had no option but to endorse him.
Now, honorable colleagues, each one of you is fighting to speak. It seems you want to leave me with the body of the red here. I don't know why you're rushing. I've assured you I won't leave this seat until all of you speak. Okay? I won't leave this seat until all of you speak. So I'm scared. It seems the way you're pushing me, you want to speak and go and just leave me here. In the public, in the VIP gallery, colleagues, we have our very own, the Right Honorable Amama Mbabazi, former Prime Minister. Thank you, Right Honorable, for honoring us with your presence. We have Professor Ephraim Kamuntu, Honorable Professor Ephraim Kamuntu. We have Honorable Godfred, a former member of parliament. We have Honorable Aboya Vincent, who was with us in the 10th parliament. Honorable Wadada Fema, former member of parliament. We have Honorable Harold Kaija, Secretary General, Deputy Secretary General of FDC Party. We have Father Frederick Singwire, National Director, Uganda Catholic Secretariat. And I think I'm seeing my sister, Honorable Winnie Chiza. Yes. She's not on my list, but I've seen her. Thank you for coming. Now, when I'm going this side, I've seen there is a corner we usually forget. So I also want to present that corner. Honorable Awani Tony, Honorable Judith Adiek, and then Honorable Margaret Rawshija. And then I come again to the main line and I pick you. Now, for Muslims, I had gotten scared. We have prepared something for you. So you're going to break the fast with us here. There is no reason of you speaking and going. So please.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Right Honorable Speaker, I stand to pay tribute to a great man who has been a mentor, a peace builder, and I also want to pay tribute to a man who loved his culture. I met the Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah in 1998 when I was the chairman of Acholi Makerere University Students Association. The Right Honorable Oulanyah gave us the opportunity as young men of the time to get up and speak and add our voice for the advocacy for peace. I want to thank him for having given us the opportunity at that time to speak and advocate for peace in northern Uganda at the time. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to remember Oulanyah, the peace builder. During the Juba peace process, the LRA came up with one very important question that almost derailed the peace process. And this question was put to Oulanyah as one of the draftsmen of the peace agreement. The question the LRA had put was whether the traditional justice system of Matoput would absolve them from the ICC indictment. Oulanyah, the man who spoke the truth to peace, told them in no uncertain terms that the traditional justice system would not in any way absolve them from the ICC indictment, because the crimes they had committed was not only a localized crimes among the Acholi people, but they caused crimes among communities. So I want to thank the Right Honorable Speaker, the late Oulanyah, for having stood up and spoken the truth to peace. Finally, Right Honorable Speaker, I speak in reverence to a man who loved his culture. When I was in diplomatic service in Dubai, for the first time we danced La Rakaraka in Dubai. And he went there and advocated seriously for commercial diplomacy. He told me, Tony, I want us to go and dance La Rakaraka in Noya and any other side of Uganda.
So, Honorable Tony, thank you. Honorable Judith Adiek. Honorable Judith Adiek. Kore.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the people of Kole, and on the behalf of the people of Lango Sub-Region, on behalf of Lango Parliamentary Group, I stand here to pay tribute to the fallen Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah. Right Honorable Speaker, we are aware that Honorable Jacob Oulanyah was a man of integrity, a man who has been recognized in almost all aspects of life. Right Honorable, you remember when we hosted the international president of the Rotary Club. He was the one chairing. And Right Honorable, you were the one who moved the motion, and I seconded it on this floor. Right Honorable, the late Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah has been a major donor in Rotary Club. Right Honorable, I've been advocating for this, and I will not stop advocating, even in the National Organizing Committee meeting, Right Honorable. We need to have a slot in his burial so that the president, not the president, the governor of District 92 of the Rotary Club in Uganda should be given a slot, and he says something about the contribution that the Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah made in this country and being a major donor. We are aware of the activities of Rotary Club in this country and internationally. So, Right Honorable, one other thing that I would like to bring forward to this House is that we need Rotarians here in memory of the Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah.
Honorable Rabshija, Margaret.
Yeah, thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, and allow me to convey our heartfelt condolences. That is me and the workers of this country, Uganda, to the bereaved family of our late hero, Right Honorable Speaker, and colleagues, as we mourn the departed gallant son of Uganda, and who was the Speaker of this august House, the late Jacob Oulanyah, I'm reminded of a renowned playwright of the olden times, 600s, and that's none other than William Shakespeare, in his book or play, Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar was a politician, and he died, but one of his buddies, as we call it today, was Mark Antony. He went for burial, and when he reached there, he had this to say, and I quote, he said, I'm here to bury Caesar, but not to praise him. And as people got so amazed, then he added on and said that the evil that men do lives on even after they have gone, but the good is interred in their bones. And allow me to explain what he meant. He meant that quite often we forget to talk about.
Honorable Max.
Just 1 minute and I close.
Honorable, please. Honorable
Yeah,
Max
as
will
I close.
No, Honorable Rabshija, please. Honorable Max will be followed by Honorable Pascal Menya.
Thank you.
Then Honorable Santa Okot.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Mama Betty Awol.
Thank you for giving me
Please,
the
I'm going to
opportunity.
pick each and every one of you. I'm coming now. I'm this side. This side.
Thank
First,
you
wait for this side.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to convey our heartfelt sympathies and condolence from the people of Maruzi County upon the death of our brother and leader, Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah. Right Honorable Speaker, life is a generational game. Every generation has a part, plays its part. Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah and I belong to the same generation. We were born in the same year. I always tease him that I was his contemporary. But then he would say, but I was born in March and you were born in August. So he was my elder, and I called him Ladit in respect of that. But he was ahead of his game. He stood out amongst his equals as a first. His equals like Honorable Norbert Mao, Honorable Amuriat Patrick, Honorable Katuntu, and many others in this house who were mentored in the party of Uganda People's Congress. He was a man of many parts, many talents.
He was cultured. He cherished his Luo culture. He was a nationalist. He served this country with distinction. Always talking.
Honorable Pascal Menya. Honorable Max, I know you had a lot, but let's just do 2 minutes, colleagues.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the people of Pade District, allow me extend our condolences to all the countrymen and the countrywomen of Uganda.